All right, we got a game here. He actually took my favorite corner move over there. I usually take that corner. It's more of a habit, doesn't really matter all that much. Ah, he took the middle move. I actually did that once. I want to explain that middle move. That middle move is actually, I mean, it's not as worth as much as the corner moves, but that specific move actually does control a lot of ladders, and it does give certain amounts of influence. It's just harder to use. It honestly is just harder to use than some of the other. It's honestly just a little bit harder to use. It's a bit of a problem now. See, this is why that middle. This is why that middle. This is actually why that middle stone is actually kind of good because I think it actually does break this ladder. It does actually break this ladder. So we're gonna pincer this first. And that wasn't good for me. I forgot that middle stone actually breaks the ladder. Definitely made a wrong move there. I have to do this. I think he just messed up because he just gave me the connect here. I could also just do this, but then he does have this move. I think he just messed up. Because if I connect here, he can't do anything. Now he doesn't have enough liberties. That ladder actually works for me, so he can't do anything. Oh, that was a huge, huge mistake. He was actually playing really good up until that point. He was actually playing really, really good up until this point. But because he did that, he now just got screwed. I mean, that's useless. He's just giving more. He's essentially just giving me more points at this point. It's gonna take away more of his territory now. Now he doesn't have a base for this group either. He just made a bad situation worse. I think I might have just messed up though. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, that's useless because I can just like disconnect here. I will just go ahead and take this. He's just making too many mistakes now. Making way too many freaking mistakes now. That is absolutely useless. I mean, there's so many cuts here. I probably should just actually work one of the corners at this point. So I'm gonna get this whole corner. Obviously, I'm much ahead now. He has like, I mean, his shape is just awful at this point. His shape is just like really awful at this point. I have way more territory now. And like, he's just really loose at this point. Just gonna connect here. Give him the couple of points there. And use it to kind of pincer here. He is kind of thick up there, but that doesn't concern me. It's not worrying, just come over. I'll take the bottom points. I will easily take the bottom points. It's worth a lot more. Since my head's already over here, it doesn't matter if he Hanes. I can just... Or if he does that, I can just do this. And that's a useless move, but I can always just do this. The thing is, like, if I just crawl, he can't actually do anything. It's perfectly fine, because you're going to end up giving me those stones as well. Okay. He's really trying to do something here. I think I'm going to try to attack this group over here.
Yo-Yomi now starts.
I'll deal with that later. Oh, I don't think that's a good move for him. Because he just died. Oh, he just pwned himself.
Yoyomi now starts.
Doesn't do anything. It's fine. You can have that one. See, I'm just going to take the safe route because I've basically captured all the points. I've essentially just captured all the points, and I don't really care what he does at this point. As long as I win, it doesn't really matter to me. And yeah, this is just one of those things you learn, like, the whole point of this game is to win, not win by like 200 billion points. It doesn't actually matter how much you win by. And you've already got like a very, very solid lead here. You've already got a very, very solid lead here. So there's no reason. There's actually no reason to risk anything. If he cuts here, I obviously just do this. That's perfectly fine. I don't need to kill that to win. And I basically just link all these groups. He essentially has no territory. So I win by a lot of points. So the thing is, like, you don't have to kill everything to win. You just have to get enough points. And that is actually a point of go that's often lost on people. Especially like a lot of lower ranking players, they get too greedy and they basically try to they get too greedy and they basically try to kill everything, even when they're ahead, and that results in them losing. Like, you don't have to kill everything. You really don't have to kill everything in order to win. That's a misconception. That's a total misconception. That's an absolute and total misconception. You do not have to kill everything to win. That's a horrible move. But you just have to get enough points. So you're just giving up more and more at this point. Oh, wait, hang on. I misread that. Never mind. I completely misread that. Doesn't really matter. I completely misread that. I somehow forgot he had 2 liberties down here and now 1. That's my bad. That's my bad. Getting too careless. Getting way too freaking careless here. I think he's hoping that I actually forget that there's something here. Now, I'm not going to forget that, first of all. I'm just going to do this. Yeah, I'm actually not going to forget that, first of all. So that's useless. Because he can't actually squeeze in. So that's completely useless. I don't have to do anything about that because he can't squeeze in. Not that there's much big left here anyways. But yeah, that's useless. But I made a huge mistake in this corner. Like, I'm actually not used to playing against people with a middle stone, so I didn't actually calculate that right. Because without the middle stone, I could, like, the ladder would actually work for me. So
9, 8,
that was
7,
actually like my
6,
miscalculation.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Whatever. I don't know why I did that. That wasn't worth any points. That's useless. That's also useless because he still can't squeeze in. See if he knows how to play this. All he has to do is really connect this, and I can't do anything. He doesn't know how to play it. Excellent. Actually, no. All he has to do is do that. I just break the couple of points. Yeah, he knows how to play that. It does reduce his points, but I mean, he knows how to play that. That's fine. It's actually fairly big. That doesn't do anything. Okay, so the thing is, like, he can't come in from this side, and he can't come in from this side. It's kind of a useless game for him. Like, I'm not going to fight this Ko. This Ko is useless. This Ko is completely and utterly useless. He can't do anything. I think he's realized that that Ko is completely and utterly useless and he can't do anything. Not exactly sure why he's still playing this game, actually. Because there's just nothing left to play here. There's like legit nothing left to play for here. He's too far behind. Okay. I can connect here because this is an Atari. He's going to try that, I know, and then I'm going to take this. Or he's going to connect that, and I'm just going to connect. One of those two. Like, he can do whatever he wants. It doesn't really matter. He's going to force me to play this one all the way through. which is kind of annoying, but he can't actually do anything. Estimate score, white plus 87.5. About what I thought.
Upgrade successfully.
All right,
Congratulations.
I went to 3Q because I pretty much won every game, except for one. I actually played against another person that was like ranked way too low. He also had like basically 14 wins and 0 losses. I don't know. He might have been another one of those teaching accounts. It was pretty. That game was actually pretty good though. That game was actually pretty good. Let's go back and review this game because I actually made a big mistake at the beginning of the game, and he took a huge advantage. But then he just kind of lost it right there. So let's actually go back on this game and review it. This game was kind of interesting because I screwed up at first by not reading that middle stone there. So basically, yeah, he does this. That middle stone can actually cause a lot of trouble. Like I said, it controls a lot of ladders. So when I do this, the usual that thing doesn't actually work that well. So like usually, like I would actually just do this and use this ladder. But since he has that middle stone there, I don't think this actually works. Or did I just, I'm pretty sure this doesn't work. The diagonal, yeah, like the ladder doesn't actually work, so I can't actually do that. So I have to give up more points at this point. So I didn't actually calculate this right. I didn't actually calculate this right. I can't go this way, obviously, because that would not work for me. I can't actually go that way. So I actually have to just try to give up more. I pincer this first. Then he does this. I hane over. He does that. I extend. He does. That's not a bad move. I have to connect. He does that. I fly down. I don't know. The better move, like, I think for me, I would probably just jumped. Get that. Because, like, it's hard for me to attack these 3 stones. This group is still pretty weak. But, allows me to fly down. He does that. I hane in. He does that. I'm going to go on the outside. So my personal goal was to just kind of yeah, I mean, it's basically what I got in the end. So I basically still want some of the outside influence, but I'm giving up a lot more. So this doesn't end up that great for me. That is a useless move. That's a pretty decent move. That's actually pretty... I was surprised he made these 2 moves. Those usually aren't 5Q moves to make. I obviously charge. He does that. So generally, like, if it were me, I would... You charge, I'm going to block. And then if you cut here, I'm going to extend this way. And if you cut here, I'm just going to Atari. If you extend, I'm just going to do something like this. And that's a huge... And this shape right now is a huge advantage for black, in my opinion. So he definitely played this wrong. He goes back, allows me to do the second jump. So once again, like, just kind of do the easy thing. I would just do the easy thing. Like, there's not that many points down here. And even if you let him get the points, you get like a lot of territory on the side. Plus, you've already got this territory in the corner. So I would have probably just done that. Or just come up and, like see what your opponent actually does. But I honestly probably would have just done this. But he comes up, I disconnect, he does that, I extend over. That's a bad move. There's several moves you could actually do. Like, for instance, this move would be fine. Because, I can't actually do this. So, like, I was kind of afraid he'd do this, because then I would actually be forced to do something like this. And then these 2 stones would be a big problem for me. The 2 white stones up here would be a big problem. So he made a mistake. That's a critical mistake. That's actually a very, very critical mistake right there, I believe. I do this. He does this. And this is obviously a big critical mistake. Because if you do this, like, you let me solidify my outside. So when he was doing this, I was thinking of either doing this or just doing this. Because if he does this, he can probably live. He does live, but he would just tear apart this. I wouldn't have time to answer this corner because I have to like make sure that this group is actually okay. So it's a little bit different. Actually, no, I would do this because I don't know if I can get more liberties than him though. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I would be able to do this, I guess. So I guess that's it's not really a thing. So I guess yeah, I guess he can't really like once he gets himself in this situation, it's very like this is a bad move. That's just how we put it. That's just a really, really bad move. It like screws him really bad. That's just a really bad move. Like I said, the better move would just be to jump out. There's nothing I can do about that. Absolutely nothing I can do about that. But that's a big mistake. So of course I connect here. He can't Hane out now because if he Hanes, he doesn't have enough liberties. Obviously, this like 1 liberty kill. That's exactly what I would do. So at this point, he's kind of screwed. He screwed himself here by this move right here. Don't do that move. That's just an awful shape. You don't have many liberties, and it's easy for people to kill. So that's exactly what happened. He does this, and that's the worst situation you can get because this ladder actually does work for me. And now all of this is dead. There's no way you're going to compete with liberties with this group here. So that was a critical mistake. That's also a really bad move. That cleans up anything you had there, and that's just giving me more points. So at this point, white's ahead, obviously. I do this. Now, here is, I think, like, is a judgment call, because these stones are scattered. I, myself, would probably just play here and try to get some of the bottom territory. But he wants to save those stones. Lets me get the corner. Not much there. There could have been better things done there. Of course, I'm unafraid to fight now because this group's completely alive, having captured all those stones. That's a bad move because even if I didn't do that, I could actually, even if I didn't do that, I could just, sorry, I can just do this. And now, like, I'm connected here and you're still dead. So that's just a wasteful move. Like, when your group is dead and, like, playing here doesn't get you any advantages and just adds to your opponent's territory, don't do that. That's just helping your opponent win more. So I just go ahead and take everything here. Obviously, you can't do anything here because, you know, that's an Atari. I just take it, obviously. And then, you know, I'm basically just taking small advantages here. This isn't necessarily that big because both these groups are fine. And it's just like maybe like 15 points, but I'll just take it at this point. This might not actually be good because I let him like this may not actually. I don't think this was worth it because I let him solidify the outside, and this is like realistically like 15 points. That's not worth it right now. Of course, at this point I probably would have extended in myself because this is not very clean. There's still this cut right here, and basically like you can live down here. So you can live down here because there's that cut right there. So I would have extended in. He extends out. I do this. That's fine. He does this. I don't know. I think I would have just I think I would have done this, honestly. It's a better shape than what he actually got. I might have actually just done that, but this necessarily isn't bad. It lets me do that, though. And go over. Then it lets me pincer because I'm pretty strong here now. He does that. I go over. I think a lot of like lower SDK players would do this and then just let him jump. That's really bad. That's pretty bad. There's no point in doing that because this move isn't really that critical. Like you just go back and it's fine. That move isn't very critical. You come over to threaten him and then he pincers again. You try to threaten him some more, and I think some people, depending on you, like some people would actually play here and try to fight, but you know, like that just doesn't look that great to me. So obviously I'm going to take the easier path and just take the points on the bottom. Yeah, because even if he Hane's here, to try to get the center points, you can just over Hane and it's not that big of a deal. The points on the bottom, to me, connecting both these groups and settling is much more worth it because I'm already way ahead with this. So as long as I like get other points, I'm going to be perfectly fine. You do this, I retreat, I do this, I'm going to come up, he does this, I'm going to do this, and then now he takes the corner. I'm actually going to just, like, I'm not going to try to kill the corner because these two stones aren't that strong in the first place, so I'm just going to use the, original thing. That's not bad. That's actually a really good move. So obviously, like, where he goes wrong is he does this. This is dead, so you absolutely have to, this is like still dead, so you absolutely have to do this to actually like not die. All right, because dying is bad, obviously. So you absolutely have to do that. I think this is pretty much alive. So yeah, I don't think I can kill this. So like, you absolutely have to do this to make this group alive. Because obviously, like him doing this, I'm like, oh, I guess he's dead then, and he did die. This is just a really simple corner Joseki. Like in this kind of shape, you have to extend the bottom, otherwise it's dead. And the thing is, like, if he had actually just, if he had actually just, if he had just like, this is the other critical mistake he made this game. If he had just done this, like, I would be hard pressed. Like you can honestly even give these two up and then attack this. And realistically, it'd be really hard for this group to actually survive. So you get the corner, you sacrifice these two, and you get this territory. Now, right now, it wouldn't be enough for him to win, I don't think. Because there's a lot of like weaknesses around here that I can exploit. But it would be very, very hard for me to actually live this group. So he could actually like just get this territory, but I would get the whole bottom and I would have this corner, so I would still win. But that's probably the best thing he could actually do right now. Just like capture these stones. And playing like against him, I might be able to live. But the thing is, like, if I was playing against a similarly ranked opponent, it would be very, very difficult for me to live this piece. This is pretty much dead at this point. So that's basically the trade you would actually make there. Of course, if this dies, it's kind of a moot point. That's useless. And that's also useless. At this point, if you want, at this point, like, you just do this, and you let me capture this group. Because doing this essentially, yes, you do reserve this ko. You do actually reserve this ko, but you don't have enough liberties to fight. And if you start this ko, you're actually down by several liberties by starting that ko. And I'm not going to toss this in there. So you're down actually by several liberties. And you're not going to be able to fight this ko. If you like, he actually has to fight this ko, because if I extend here, he's basically all dead. He doesn't have enough liberties to fight me. Of course, like, this is just basic. This is basically like, you know, a basic read play. Like, cutting this isn't that important because it damages him over here. That's like, I don't know about that. I mean, that's not bad, but obviously I'm just going to take the points over here at this point. This is a bad move. I don't have to answer that. So it just lets me go out here. Of course, like, this is just basic sequence. And now this is dead. Obviously, for those of you that don't know, he can't disconnect here because I can just do this. And he can't connect. So that's basic disconnect sequence. I mean, that's just reading. Well, actually, no, it's not dead because there's Hane here. And that's fine. That's actually fine. I just basically connect these two groups because, like, since this is all dead and this is all dead, I'm up by like 50, 60 points, so it doesn't really matter. So there's no danger to me anywhere. If it were me, I would almost be desperate enough to do this, because doing that actually gives me a 1% chance of killing this. It's not a very high chance, but still. Of course, these are just finishing moves, so after that, like, this game just kind of becomes pointless. This game's absolutely pointless. That was just a big misread by me. I forgot he had 2 liberties down here for some reason. I thought he only had 1. So obviously I should have just done that. I should have just done this here. But, you know, like, that really doesn't matter right now. That really doesn't matter right now because it's not worth enough. So that's where the game actually ended. There was this critical move this critical mistake in the corner, and definitely this critical mistake over here. So just, you have to recognize those shapes, and like recognize critical move in fights. Like, you got to think about, like, what am I sacrificing when I make this move? Like, if I make this move and he blocks, can I actually get out? And if I can't, is there another move? So that's kind of like the point of this lesson, and that's why he made that critical mistake right there. If he did not make this critical mistake, I would be far behind in this game if he actually played that right. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. And also, like, yes, this corner break Joseki doesn't work if he has the center stone. So that center stone actually still came in use. So like and subscribe. hit that bell notifications button, and I'll be back with another lesson, hopefully tomorrow.